if this doesn't stop cancellations, nothing will. And that's when we realized the business that we're actually in is just like, yes, it's fitness, yes, it's community, yes, it's Pilates, but it is also marketing and sales.
Of course, yeah.
Why Muse? What is Muse? How did you come up with the brand? Hi, my name's Jayme.
Hi, my name's Alana.
I'm Mitch.
Together we have 32 years industry experience with Pilates and fitness businesses. Together we've opened up 21 studios.
I am the CEO of Muse Pilates. I have 14 studios, 4 of which are franchisees.
And Jayme and I have worked with over 600 studios across 4 different countries.
Okay guys, episode 1 of the Business of Pilates podcast. How you guys both doing?
Good.
Very well, I'm excited.
Yeah,
So today's podcast is simply about why would anyone listen to a word that we have to say when it comes to not only the fitness industry, but in particular, the Pilates industry.
Yeah, we wanted to have Alana here. She knows a thing or two about that.
A little bit.
And Jayme and I also like to think we know a few things. So thought between the 3 of us, we'd be able to have a pretty good discussion.
So I met Alana in January this year, been working close together, and I've been so impressed with what you've done since 2019 with Muse. But as opposed to me telling everyone how amazing it is, I'd love you to share your Muse
I'll
story.
tell everyone how amazing it is.
Tell everyone.
Better coming from you.
Exactly. So in 2019, I opened my first Reformer Pilates studio in Sydney in the inner west. And obviously being 2019, there are a few problems after that with COVID, but we opened so strong with that studio. And there are a few things that I did to open really strong that we will share in our episodes.
And before the studio, like what were you doing? Did you have previous fitness industry experience?
So I went to study. I did mat Pilates, Reformer Pilates, and pre and postnatal. Got my qualifications, and I taught at a few different studios around Sydney. But that was really with the ambition of opening my own studio. Before that, I did a whole bunch of different roles. I worked in franchising, in real estate, in finance, in events, like ran events around the country. Just I never really knew what I wanted to do. And I studied a lot of different things not knowing. So
And what was it about Pilates in particular? Because 2024, it is booming, but 2019, I can't think of one reformer studio in Newcastle at the time.
I remember because we had our gyms at that point, and one of our staff members worked at another studio in town.
Yeah.
And that would have been 2021. And I remember that being probably like my first real exposure to it, where she was saying like how many people would come through and how many new signups they would get. And I'd be like, God, that's like way more than we're getting.
Yeah.
So that kind of brought me into my awareness a little bit, but that was even a few years after it. So I feel like 2019, it might have even been like more novel and more unique.
it was just starting to kind of pop off. There were studios like here and there. And I found Reformer because I had knee surgery probably 15 years ago now, showing my age. And I had a lot of complications afterwards, physio, exercise physiology, and it just wasn't kind of getting better.
Were you a classic hit girl?
I loved everything, just gym junkie, like just loved it. I just couldn't find anything that I loved that I could still do with my knee being the way it was. And then I found Reformer and it like absolutely changed my world. My knee got better. I fell back in love with exercise, just absolutely loved it. And I was going to a few different studios around Sydney. And I loved it personally for the health benefits that it gave to me. But I started to think like more people need to know about this. This could be a really great business.
So you actually just fell in love with the modality before you ever conceptualized, I'm going to open my own studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Pilates has been around like forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not Reformer.
Is it John Pilates?
Yeah, he was the main.
Joseph.
Joseph.
I thought it was John with the capital P.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
And it, like he was like in bed and started doing like exercise in his bed or something. I remember hearing that. But that's been around, well, you might know, like 60s or 70s or the 80s, like it's been forever. But it's really been the reformer craze that has hit off. So
I always thought Pilates was physiotherapy. And I think that's what still the public think to this day, for the most part.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of physios do have a reformer or two in the back. Because that's how they rehab people. Like that's how good it is. So.
And the reformer's been in physios for like years and years.
Oh,
That's not like a more recent thing.
It's not. I mean, more physios probably are adding them in as they're finding out about it. But so many for at least the past 10 years have had them.
And it's just, and then somebody, whoever it was initially from some business said, well, what if we put a bunch of these in a room together and have a business model?
Absolutely.
So you opened up Muse in 2019. When was your first reformer experience in a group?
I'm going to say at least 5 years before that, maybe earlier.
2014.
Yeah.
It must have been that niche at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
Lucky
and-
that I was in Sydney at that time because, they had them, few of them here and there in the capital cities.
Yeah, we were in Karikari at the time. They're about 10 years behind everywhere else.
Yeah, they
Is
still don't
is there
know what
one
they
there
are.
now?
They don't.
There isn't.
It's a great spot for a
Maitland.
franchise.
It's about 10 minutes from Maitland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So-
Muse is in Maitland.
That's
So
right.
2014, your first reformer, helped your knee, helped you get back on track with your fitness.
Yeah.
And at what point did you think, okay, there's something about this. More people need to experience it, and I can see myself doing this as a future.
I think 2017. So it probably took a good 2 years from having that initial thought.
And in that period, did you see more studios open up in the area? Did you see that studio itself get more popular? Did you, or just see a hole in the market? There is a place for this.
There was more popping up kind of here and there, nowhere near what it's like now at all. But, I would notice, oh, there's a new one here. And then maybe 6 months later, oh, I might try that one out. But very, very slowly.
I think it was probably not too dissimilar to like F45 and CrossFit in the early days, which would have been a few years before that.
Yeah.
Probably like 2015.
Yeah.
And we had our group fitness boot camp type thing, but it was pretty novel then. Like now, obviously, and for years it's been like there's one on every corner.
Yep.
And I think reformer Pilates seemed like it was maybe a few years behind that.
100%.
And now it's at the point where there's obviously so many of them.
We grew our first location to 509 members in like 12 months, and we knew nothing about anything. It was just the only location in
We
town.
knew sales and marketing.
We knew sales and marketing, but we thought
That
we were
was
the
about it.
smartest men alive, but it was just the
We've
perfect
made
storm,
it.
the perfect timing. So every single owner I talk to, and they say the same thing to Mitch is, oh yeah, I opened up my studio in 2019, 2020, 2021, and I was the only studio in town.
Yeah.
And now you'd be challenged to find a location that doesn't have 5 or 6 per area.
Yeah.
It's truly like, I say this to every person I talk to, like, hey, like you don't realize how big Pilates is. You don't realize how on trend it is. What you guys are experiencing isn't normal for an F45, a Fitstop, a BFT, a CrossFit.
Yeah.
The same way that they experienced that back in 2015.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up again because I think it's like important to talk about. But we talked to like CrossFit and F45 owners, and they're like, people used to just come in and sign up.
Yep.
They would walk in and just sign up and be like, "What are your membership options? Okay, I'll take that one. Like, where do I sign?"
Yeah.
And now, over the years, it's becoming not like that at all. Needs to be marketing, there needs to be a sales process, there needs to be everything that come with it, and feel like that's kind of where
Pilates is heading.
well, where it is,
Yeah.
like
Well, yeah.
especially in some areas.
Yeah.
And I guess part of what I wasn't 100% certain, like where you first started, what part of Sydney was that?
The inner west.
And then did you then stay in that general area when you
No, so
kind
the
of
first one was
looked to
Sydney, and then
expand?
I moved to Newcastle. So
Yeah.
the second one I
Great
opened
place.
in Hamilton in Newcastle. And then the third one, it was actually the second one was meant to be Camperdown, which is a few kilometres from the first, but the DA process just took so long.
We'll
Bloody
save that for the
council.
pre-sale episode. I want to talk about the first location. So you worked in a studio as an instructor.
Yep.
Did you ever manage a studio?
No.
So you had experience of teaching the art of reformer,
Yep.
not the managing, running, marketing, sales of a
Yep.
Pilates studio. So talk me through that first location. Like, how did you choose the spot? How did you sign the lease? What was your marketing strategy? And just run me through how it worked.
Yeah, sure. So I taught at a couple of studios around Sydney, no management experience whatsoever, as you just said. It was very much muck around and find out with everything. Sourcing the initial location, I just went to see so many, and there were a couple that were I thought were goers, and then like the DA couldn't be pulled off, or like there was a lot of false starts, and I think a lot of people can get deterred by that. But I was determined. I was like, I'll find one, keep looking, and it takes a long time. Talking to agents all the time, let me know if anything's coming up.
We had our heart broken many times on buildings.
Yeah.
We had the perfect spot, and all of a sudden it was 25 meters from the fire escape, and we couldn't do it.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see.
Did you
your
ever
business
look
being in there.
to like take over somewhere existing?
No.
I guess they didn't really exist then, did they? Or not at the scale they do now.
No.
Or even just like another fitness studio of sorts? Like, did you ever go down that?
Sorry, that's a lie. I actually looked into opening a franchise.
Okay.
There was one franchise that offered reformer franchise back in the day, and I just decided to do it myself.
So I want to unpack that in a second. But
Yeah.
when you were instructing in the studios,
Yeah.
you weren't secret shopping, but you were like, okay, I like this, I don't like that. They could have more sessions here. There's too many beds here, not enough beds there. What did you learn in that teaching experience that gave you the confidence?
Do you know what? I was so set. I'm such a goal-driven person that I was like, I need to teach and learn how to be the best instructor and get experience. And that is all that I was focused on. I mean, you know, in one studio that I taught, I was like, well, the beds are too squished together here. I don't want to do that. Kind of, that's nice, that's not. But I wasn't like, I need to get in there and see what works and what doesn't. I was just like, I need to be a great teacher.
Okay.
That was my single focus.
We see, like, when we talk to owners and they'll, you know, tell us how they got started and what led them to the point they are now. Quite often they were like a trainer somewhere or an instructor somewhere, and there was a lot of things they didn't like about where they were.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, oh, you know, maybe they didn't like the owner, or,
Yeah.
you know, they didn't like the way the sessions were run, or whatever it is. But quite often it is just it's like a natural next step. I feel like for a lot of trainers or instructors, it's like, hey, I know everything there is to know now about, like, or most of what there is to know about like running a class and helping people. So then it's like, well, what if I had my own and I did this and I could keep all the money that comes in and I could do this myself?
And then they don't think about GST.
Yeah. Oh, what? You have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
They don't come out every fortnight.
I think it's only natural to, like, people that are more business-minded and goal-orientated.
It comes back to the person. Like, we've got lots of people in our network and they would never, ever think about starting their own business or doing anything.
Yeah.
Totally happy in their roles, and that's great. And then there's other people that probably couldn't hold down a job for longer than a few weeks because their wheels would be turning and they'd be thinking, what's next? Maybe I could do this.
Any of us got a job, we'd be marked as flight risk straight away.
Yeah.
What do you wear to a job interview?
This, I guess.
So the franchise that you were looking at, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yep.
What was it missing and why did you choose to go on your own?
There was just something in me telling me to do it myself and create my own thing. But honestly, I've had thoughts over the years, like I probably could own 30 of them if I just went with a franchise and didn't have to muck around and find out and just hustled and just did it. I don't know.
Was it the fact that you wanted to create your own brand, your own colors, your own fonts, your own systems, didn't want to follow any?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I don't really like being told what to do.
Yeah. I guess with a franchise, a way you can look at it is like you're effectively your employees of sorts to HQ where you have to follow the rules.
You do. And that's awesome for some people, and they want their hand held and they want to be shown what to do so that they can just put in the work and the systems and everything already set up for them, and it just amplifies their work so they don't have to muck around and find out. So a lot of people love that. And as I said, every now and again I have the thought like, you know, I probably wouldn't have spent that $500,000 on all these things trying them out. I would have just followed the process, but that's not me.
When you started the first one, was it in your mind, okay, I want a franchise?
Not at all. No, it was, I want this to work because.
Just the one studio?
Yeah.
How far into that process do you think it was like, oh, like I'm onto something?
Probably pretty quickly. Like after a couple of months, I was like, oh, this is going very well.
And why did you think that? Were people just walking in off the street, signing up, not much effort involved, or was it just what gave you
I'll
that
never say that because I'm a hustler. Like I was in every cafe within the couple of kilometre radius.
So this is super important too, right? Because it's build it and they will come. You're ahead of the curve. You're on trend.
Agree.
You built it, and they didn't probably come like you thought they would, or you never had that expectation. So you went out and hunted for them.
I never had that expectation.
Okay.
The whole time before, while the fit out was being done, I was hustling.
You were having lots of coffees at different cafes.
Yeah, I was letterbox dropping. I was going to every local business. I was doing the socials myself. I was doing the ads myself. I was telling every single person.
Were you following like a blueprint of this is local area marketing strategy, or was it just like I'm going to just get after it?
Made it up. But I just sat there and thought of every single thing that I could be doing and then tried again and tried harder. And
did you have a team? Anyone? Was it literally just you?
So when I opened, I think the kids were 1 and 2 at the time. They were teeny tiny. So I didn't teach all the classes. I had, I think I had 6 instructors plus myself, but I opened with like 40 or 50 classes on the schedule, 7 days a week. I didn't go, and I think this is the mistake. Nah, I think that's the mistake a lot of businesses make. Like when they open, they'll launch really, really slowly, like soft launch.
Limp in.
And people kind of, why would someone sign up if, I don't know, like if you're not offering much, it doesn't seem like you're taking it seriously.
I had a call yesterday. I said to every single presale that we work with, like, hey, there are 2 studio owners, ones that have 100 members day one and are successful, and ones that have 0 and struggle from day one.
Yeah.
It is so critical.
Yeah.
So your idea of local area marketing was, I'm going to talk to every single person that could possibly walk into this business and introduce myself.
Yep.
So good old fashioned marketing as opposed to digital.
Yep.
Well, that was 2019, you say? I mean, ads were still obviously out and stuff there, but not really getting run the way that they are now. So
I played around with my own ads back then. I don't think I was great
Did
at
you
it.
click the blue button, the boost post button?
I think I boosted. Yeah.
Oh, it worked.
Yeah.
That's what we used to do.
We used to boost post, send message for timetable. Worked well.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many you opened with? How many people? How many members?
I can't now. It would be written somewhere, like a lot, like enough to cover all operating expenses from the first day.
And have like people in 40 to 50 classes?
Oh, yeah.
And did that exceed your expectations?
Yes.
So you thought that you might open with X amount and be losing money, and you had cash flow to bankroll that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is probably backtracking a bit, but how did you, when you were like, okay, I'm opening my own studio, I'm going to go look for a location.
Yeah.
Then how were you like, well, I need reformers and I need this and I need that. Like, where did you learn how many you need, what brand to go with, what software you're going to use?
I can't even remember all these little details. I think I just figured it out.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Google.
Yes.
Google.
We did that. We were just like, okay, we need these basic things, like a bit of common sense.
Yep.
And then like obviously you need reformers. So I'm sure you probably shopped around at like different ones and then figured out how
for
many.
a discount in bulk.
I knew that I wanted the best and there was only one supplier. So that was very easy.
Yeah.
That one.
And then you would obviously have your space. You're like, okay, I can have this many beds in this.
And again, with the space, I just thought this is how many I would like for it to be. Like, I think this is a good amount so that it's not huge, but it's not, tiny and there's 6. So I figured it out and started with 12. And I just looked at the dimensions and looked at how much room I'd need in between. Like, I really just guessed everything.
I watched The Castle last night. Great movie.
It's a beauty.
And Daryl Kerrigan, the law of bloody common sense. And I think it's so ridiculous, but like a lot of business problems can be solved with the law of bloody common sense.
Yep,
you want people to walk through your front door, talk to people.
Yep.
You want people to come into your studio, go to the cafes. Like the law of common sense.
Do you guys feel like people put too much emphasis on those more minor details at the start?
My blood's boiling thinking about it.
Think?
It's like, what color should the button be on my website as opposed to talking to 100 people?
Yeah.
It is just, people get lost in the details. And something that we always did really well, we had a bit of a marketing background before opening gyms. And like, I don't recommend this today, but like the product was like the last thought in our mind. It was like, how can we get people in there, get people through the front door?
Yeah.
And then they'll give us feedback on the product and we can improve it over time.
Yeah, exactly.
In hindsight, probably wasn't the right thing to do, but we always opened up. Every studio we opened with over 100 members.
Yeah.
And that was all of our energy was like members.
The product or like the service doesn't matter if no one's coming in.
100%.
Like, unfortunately, we do speak with a lot of owners who have not many people coming through, and they might have these amazing studios with amazing program designs and amazing instructors, but
it doesn't really matter if no one's there.
It doesn't matter. If it really made such a difference, then they would have a lot more people, at least at the start.
Yeah.
So there is obviously a need for great product and service,
Yeah, of
but I
course.
think if there is a spectrum, like people can sometimes prioritize that too heavily and forget about the other end of it, which is actually getting people in.
Yeah.
And I think, to your experience, like you've kind of went the other way about it, I think, what seems like. And I think a lot of people could probably learn a lot
I
from
think you're a
that.
good mix of both. Great product, but just as
The
well
most
as,
expensive reformers going around.
but just like understanding that it doesn't matter how expensive the actual bed is.
Yeah.
I still need to market it.
Yeah, exactly.
Quick break. If you're listening and you wish to learn more about how we help grow and scale Pilates businesses, there'll be a link below to schedule a call with me.
And if you'd like to chat to our team about becoming a Muse franchise partner, then there's a link below to do so as well. I also have a Pilates instructor training business called Spicy Pilates Teacher Training. It is fully online. And if you have anyone that you'd love to refer, come and check it out. It not only goes over how to become an amazing instructor, provides people with a certification, but it also talks about the business of Pilates, how those people will come in and work for you and really hit the ground running. Check it out with the link below. On that note about the reformers, and that's what I was saying before about people kind of going all in on a business, not put every cent in that you won't be eating, but also if you want something to be taken seriously and you want it to be do really well, you have to set that expectation with what you're showing people. So to me, to show people that I was serious, I was going to be around for a really long time and they should come to the studio, I bought the most expensive reformers.
You can show that with two ways, with your finances, by spending money on what you want, but also by your energy and effort.
Yeah.
There's something about, and you would have noticed it when you open up 2, 3, and 4, oh, where's Alana gone? She doesn't care about us anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
But when you are ride and die on one studio, and it is your everything, from the moment you wake up, the moment you go to bed, people can feel that.
Yeah.
And they get behind that.
And if it's more of like a side gig, it's easy to give up on it when it gets tough.
Yeah, if you've got another option.
If you've got a full-time job and you're earning 100 grand a year, and then it's like, oh, I'll try this other thing.
Because you're not all in. Like, you're actually not.
Well, and that's more of like a personality thing. Yeah. And obviously you're at the other end where it's like, okay, I'm doing it.
I'm so far at the other end that it's probably.
And you said you had like your kids were like 1 and 2, so they were like still little.
Yeah.
So you were like,
they're 7 and 8 now.
Yeah.
So.
Doing it.
My biggest drive to be a business owner was my first job out of high school. I worked for Centrelink.
Yeah.
I worked for the Family Assistance Office. Yeah, I know, funny. I used to help people with family tax benefit, childcare benefit, childcare rebate.
Yeah.
And I worked there for like 3 years and I was miserable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use the D word, but I was very, very low in that 3-year period.
Yeah.
And I just buried my emotions with nights out on Wednesday, Friday, Saturdays of how much I hated my life.
Yeah.
And then I remember at the gym with Mitch, he's like, do you like your job? I'm like, yeah, mate, it's good. He asked me like once a week for 3 years. There was 1 week, I said like, there was one week.
I was worried about him.
Like, I really,
you good, man? Down, mate.
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure you like your job?
I was like, I really hate this place.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it so much.
Yeah.
And that is like my biggest drive to own my own business because I did not want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And there's people that I work with back then, I left February 9, 2012, that are still doing the exact same role. Yeah. And that's like hell on earth for me. Being all in, right? Like if you've got kids, don't mortgage your house, don't burn the boats, don't take unnecessary risk, but you have to
do anything that can't be undone.
Yeah, but you have to be all in.
Yeah, I agree.
People have different motivations too, I think. Like,
absolutely.
If people are starting a business for different reasons, it's going to impact what they do once it opens. Yeah. And it's, like I said, if it is their only option, more or less, then their effort and energy is all going to go towards that. We see it. It's like, oh, like I was doing this, and maybe it's, their partner's they got maybe an inheritance or their partner's money or something. Like, oh, I thought it'd be cool to do this. And it's like, it's probably not enough just to think it'd be cool to do something. No. Yes, it is kind of cool. And then you end up with this big business with all these expenses and you end up hating it.
Yeah.
Because that cool thing, you now use the D word, depresses the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And then it just doesn't last. And then after the 3-year lease, it turns into nothing and it's a thing of the past. So I think why people do it in the first place is always a big indicator to how successful it is.
What's your reason why?
I knew you were going to ask.
He's very, very logical. Hard to get emotion out of.
Well, we'll make him cry today.
Make him cry.
Nah.
Yeah.
Only when my son was born for that one. I guess I've never really had I had some sales jobs and some gym jobs, but I went through uni, business, marketing, management, and then I was always thinking, okay, I'm just going to end up in some sort of corporate job. And then I finished uni and then I didn't really want to do that. I started looking for jobs and there was not really much, and everything was going to be here in Sydney, and I was Central Coast. And then we
also went on a 3-year party boy tour.
And we started
a 3-year bender.
Yeah, pretty much.
I went to America for 3 months and then came back and then went to Canada for 2 years. And then I was like 24. And then I was like, well, I guess my life starts now. Yeah. And then Jayme and I started our next thing, and one thing led to another. Yeah. We started our boot camp.
We're at the Bounty Hotel in Bali. It was July 2014. Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do when we go home?
We can't do this forever.
Big come down towards the end of that trip. But I guess it's kind of just each step, I feel like, because I was in my early 20s then.
Yeah.
And then into your late 20s and early 30s, and now I've got kids, so I'm a child. So it's always changed, but we ended up running the fitness studios, and then it's led us into this consulting world. And I think I've always just enjoyed knowing that what I do every day is something I like.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing something where you're like, like Monday morning or the Sunday night blues. And I've got friends and we talk through and we're hanging out with them on a Sunday, and you can almost feel how down they're like, like
I was so excited for today. So excited for today.
Yeah. But even like Monday morning, like I don't mind. I go down and I log in and do all my stuff, and it's just another day.
And I guess that's the pain of Pilates, right? Because 95% of people that open studios would be instructors
Yeah.
that are so passionate behind the reformer.
Yeah.
And then the business breaks their heart.
Yeah.
They leave the industry and back to the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And like, if I had only worked for Stenlink and I had no other option, I wouldn't think it was that bad. But now I've seen the other side of doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Going back would be even worse.
Yeah.
So imagine having that passion, starting your business, breaking your heart, and then having to go back.
I do
Devastating.
think a lot of instructors think about it and they go, I really like the actual Pilates side of it and not the business side of it. And so I'm going to stay here.
So who are the crazy ones?
So when I was doing my initial training, when I went and got certified, the owner of the business came in and they owned 4 studios across New South Wales and they did teacher training as well. They were big on yoga and got into Pilates training as well. He came in towards the end and they did a little business section and he goes, doing this, you'll go off and teach and you'll either figure out really quickly that you want to teach or you want to be in the background and run the business. Like, you figure it out pretty quickly and then it's very difficult to do both. And I discovered that really quickly. Like, I was teaching a lot of classes when I first opened, but the back end stuff took a lot too. And I knew the importance of marketing.
What lit you up more?
The business stuff.
We see it a lot where it's like you've got your trainers or instructors who are, that's what they love. They love, and I don't know, reformer stuff like I do training, but you get the trainers who maybe they've done extra courses or they've done exercise physiology at uni and they know all the different moves.
Well,
they know everything, right? That there is to know about training people, rehabbing people, helping people, getting people to lose weight, all the nutrition stuff, all the everything.
Yeah.
But they have no care about monetizing it or turning it into a business and that. But that's their thing. And then you got people at the other end where maybe they have a little bit of that knowledge.
Yeah.
But they have all the business acumen to go with it. And that's where we definitely were
It's
there.
so rife in like functional fitness and CrossFit. Like, they really care about progressive overload and making sure that we improve your ankle dorsiflexion and forget about that 99% of people don't give a shit and just want to have fun and and like be a part of a community.
You're in that bubble of like, you know, the things that you look at on socials and things you research. So it's like, okay, this is what's most important. And they almost just forget about the business. And we were at that end. We didn't care as much about the training. We cared about the business. Probably could have been a little skewed a little bit more towards the middle. But I think if you're too far at that end of instructor training, whatever, like, you're just not going to last unless you are just happy being an employee.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you never, you're at the mercy of that business closing down.
Yep.
And then maybe you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to go and get another.
We had a mentor in 2012 called Andre, and we were selling personal training packages in World Gym, Kelowna. Beautiful place.
Canada.
And he said this to me and it changed my life. Because at this point, I was really into bodybuilding. And he said, Jayme, like, if your mum walks into World Gym, what does she see? And I was so proud of myself. She sees hammer strength. She sees live fitness. She sees matrix treadmills. He said, Jayme, your mum doesn't see shit. She sees stuff. And she sees stuff that is scary.
Yeah.
People aren't coming here to lift weights like you.
Yeah.
They're coming here to feel better about themselves. And that was our whole philosophy with our gyms. Like, we were nowhere near as polished with our training, but what we did have, and everyone says this, we had an amazing community. We ran annual charity nights. We had a monthly event. Like, and this was 2015, well ahead of its time.
We had the sales and marketing machine to go with it. I mean, the community and stuff helped, but that's something we often talk about. There are so many studios that have a great community. Like, just about all of them will tell you we've got a great community. Everyone's friendly, everyone's supportive, everyone's encouraging. But again, to like my earlier point, if that community is small, it's just not going to.
So often I stare at them on Zoom and just say, like, prove it. What has your community done? Like, like, well, we raised $66,000 for families in Newcastle hosting annual charity trivia nights.
But it's also not like I actually
step up.
Yeah,
but I'm serious.
But isn't it
like what? Because I'm a spreadsheet guy. Like, what is the number of your community? Like, it's either going to be your churn percentage or it's going to be like, what have you done for the community? Yeah. It's not that the same 6 people have coffee at 6 a.m. down the road.
And the annual charity night didn't probably get us that many new members. I don't feel
0,
like.
I think.
Yeah, but it was just more, it was the sales and marketing machine in the background. Because I truly think, at least in fitness and from the Pilates owners that we know now, like, they all do have friendly, supportive, encouraging communities, a tight-knit group who welcome new people and they go out for coffee and they're all friends. Like, that's kind of every network. I don't think it's unique though.
There aren't 50 people, right? There's 12 or there's 16 or that kind of a number. Doing a group class together of that style and they go to a similar time each week, and they're friendly to each other, and they're doing a group thing that does encourage some kind of a community. But yeah, you're right. Most studios would have something similar.
I don't think it's unique.
Yeah, it's almost like when they say they have good community, they expect that other owners are rude to the members.
Yes.
Like they're not even nice.
Yeah.
Like people come here because they feel welcome. I've never felt unwelcome in a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think it's something that separates. And it's hard because you do spend a lot of time and effort doing that as an owner. We used to, it would be like night times or weekends, a lot of organizing, a lot of after hour stuff, cooking barbecues, and then unfortunately sometimes you have people who are at that thing cancel 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
and that can be a bit of a...
I used to do book club when I think it was up to 4 studios, the first 4, and every week or a couple of times a week I'd plan it out, and I would be at every different studio. I'd be like, oh, it's book club night for here. I've got to get the cheese and wine and, going over the same book. But sitting there with the members, even if only 5 turned up, they loved it. But it's a lot of time and effort.
There was another really important thing for us that happened. It was 2016. We were hosting our first ever annual Charity Trivia Night. Yeah. It was in Curry, small town of 14,000 people. We had over 250 people there. So it was like
the whole town.
It was the big event in Curry.
Streets were dead.
We were promoting we were promoting it for like months and months and months. And the event started at 4 p.m., finished at 10. And while the event was on, we had 3 cancellation messages.
Yeah.
And at that point we thought like, far out, like if this doesn't stop cancellations, nothing will. And that's when we realized the business that we're actually in is just like, yes, it's fitness, yes, it's community, yes, it's Pilates, but it is also marketing and sales.
Of course, yeah.
Why Muse? What is Muse? How did you come up with the brand?
There was something in me that loved that name, and I kept workshopping. I think there was about 4 names, and talking to everyone about the studio and coming, and I was deciding on the name. And there was the second one. I kept doing polls with everyone, like all my different groups of friends, like mother's group, all different friends. I was like, here's a Survey Monkey thing. Can you fill it out? Just to everybody.
That's good.
I think the one that came in second was Mint Pilates. Might have come in second. It might have even tied, and my gut was just like, no, Muse. And I don't know why. I reached out to a few local marketing businesses and got quotes for the branding. The current branding is the second iteration. Like it's always been Muse, but this is second. But we did the second lot of branding with the same graphic designers because I thought they did a great job. I just wanted to lean into a little bit of a refresh and more the neutral light pink sort of colours as opposed to we had a little green in there before. So it's just refined. But I don't really know why Muse, and the branding's just come
about. What does Muse stand for?
Is it a word? Like is it actually?
It's a band.
Yeah, good band.
Yeah. I don't know that band.
Super Massive Black Hole. Nah, you would have heard of them for sure.
Is it heavy metal?
It's like rock. Like I saw him a Big Day Out in 2011, I think.
Stop showing your age.
I would sing the song, but don't want Darby making fun of me in 20 years.
Yeah. So your studios are definitely premium.
Yep.
They're beautiful.
Yep.
How did you come up with the branding and how did you go through that process?
The branding, so I had the initial branding meeting with a marketing company. I told them kind of what I was after, and they gave me a few, probably 3, I can't really remember now, it's such a long time ago, a few options of where to head. And then I was like, this one, refine this, change that, and kind of went down that.
Are you actually talking about like the logo and the colours and things, or are you referring to like, because it's positioning essentially?
Yeah.
Like you've got other, certain businesses that might be on the lower side price-wise, and that's well known as that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously got the ones that are a bit higher.
Yeah. So I was referring to just the marketing kind of side of it, brand logo, just that. But I think in terms of the actual brand positioning with how the studios look and feel, I tried out a number of other studios across Sydney. Again, there wasn't that many, but they were quite blokey. Like it was grey carpet, black reformers, it was white. Like it wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't have any kind of feminine touch. You guys would have loved it.
I'm really embarrassed about what we did in our first location. So I'm a mad UFC fan.
Okay.
And I had pictures of UFC fighters up on the wall and our avatar were women over the age of 40.
Yeah.
That was for us.
I think I even put Tiger Woods on the wall for Mitch to really motivate those women of Curry.
Yeah, Tiger Woods, they would have loved him with his background.
I'm glad that I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So when I really thought about it, I just sat down and I was like, I'd like to see it be more feminine, like the more wooden floorboards, white kind of blush kind of tones. I don't know. Like,
Do
Did
you
you
think
know
that-
your branding and
picked what I
avatar from day
liked.
one, or did the branding and avatar get clearer and clearer and clearer after you had that first?
This
batch
is
of
really
members come through?
embarrassing, but when I first opened, this is like I didn't know that much about marketing. Everything I did was just for me. I was like, what would I want? And I based it on that. And I was
That's
29, 30. So I based it on a woman with 2 kids that was
Maybe a
30,
knee injury.
with maybe an injury.
I was about to ask that. I don't think that's wrong. You need to be like proud of what you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
and what you built. Otherwise, but we were, because we were in our mid-20s when we started, but we knew our market was middle-aged and older women.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we weren't trying to build a gym for 20-something-year-old guys.
Yeah.
But in saying that, we had aspects of it with UFC people on the wall and
That might be the stupidest thing I've done in 9 years.
very,
We've all got regrets.
yeah, come to think of it. But I think you need to be proud of what you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you walk into your studio and you're like, ugh,
So
like, I don't
I'm
really
going to challenge
like
that for a second, mate, because we meet a lot of owners that want to be proud of what they got. And they're in a small town like Kurri, and they're targeting elite powerlifters over the age of 50. So yours was, you knew what you wanted,
Yeah.
but it was also on trend and you spotted it.
Yeah.
When like if you just made a gym for you, it wouldn't
I'm
translate.
talking more about you've got to walk in and be proud of like, okay, I built this.
Yeah.
This was
absolutely.
like this was my design, not necessarily who you serve, but there's probably two sides of that conversation because you would have known the 30-year-old mum with kids who's looking to return to exercise better than anyone because that was you.
Yeah.
And then we were at the other end where it's like, okay, well, we're not doing it for people like us. We're thinking more of like, what would our mum want or our auntie want or something like that.
They were like your avatar that you had
Yeah.
in mind.
Yeah. It was that line. It was like, what would your mum see? Now she sees Conor McGregor on the wall.
She might have loved it.
I doubt it. I very much doubt it.
Yeah, Mitch has met my mum many times.
Connor, who? Who's that, Joe? Is that you? Is that your brother?
So location 1 to now 14. How quickly did you start, okay, I'm going to open up 2. Did you think 2 was going to end up at 10 or did you think 1 more?
Never. I was always like, just one more.
Just 1 more?
I'm an addict.
Yeah, we had just 1 more
Yeah.
and then we had 7.
Yeah.
We didn't know where they were located. Like where's like it's not a cool thing either. It's just we opened so
Well,
quickly.
it sounds like for you too, like they start so positively.
Yeah.
And the first few months, like it's great. There's amazing vibes in the studio and you're starting to get a return on your investment. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's saying how great it is, bringing their friends, you're doing events. Imagine if I had another one.
Yeah.
It could be this times 2.
Yeah.
And then you get that one.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Alana's doing 14 book clubs, reading 14 books a week.
I had to cut it off at 4.
It's becoming an alcoholic with all the wine you're drinking with it.
I never drank the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just it's amazing like what you can accomplish so quickly.
Yeah.
Because anyone that knew us at the Bounty in 2014 in Bali would be shocked to see what we're doing 10 years later. And we opened 1 location and we had 7 within 4 years. So it's just no matter where you're at, if you have a goal, you have a big why, and you put your head down, you can really get some stuff done.
Yeah.
And what you've done is nothing short of amazing, considering we haven't even spoke about the C word that occurred twice in that period.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say that? We get cancelled for that.
What C word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, and I guess the reason why we want to start this podcast is, I mentioned at the start of the episode, but like Pilates is absolutely booming.
Yep.
I have never seen anything this hot since 2015 F45.
Yep.
I think we're in the unique position that we speak to Pilates, fitness, combat across multiple countries, and it's the same thing coming up. Pilates. In the same note, we find that they often experiencing very different struggles. Like Pilates owners tend to get clients, struggle to convert into members, when fitness studio owners struggle to get clients, convert everyone. Like what lessons can we share from the fitness combat world and owners that we work with to Pilates, and what can you share with the audience?
Yep.
And I even recently, like yesterday, I had a call with a lady who has 2 parts to her business. She's got a functional fitness part and then a reformer part. And she's had both for a few years now. And she said, I just can't believe how different they are.
Yeah.
The people you have, the acquisition, like the way to acquire clients, how easy and cheap it is for Pilates, how hard it is for functional fitness, the conversion styles that we have, how long people stay, what the price points are, what the pain points are of these people, what their complaints are. Like it's just a totally different type of person and a totally different type of business. So I think, it'll be an interesting series, this podcast, for us to be able to really go through more of the specifics of Pilates on your end.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to chime in with what we sort of hear from all the owners we speak to, and then from like the fitness side and the differences and similarities.
I think Mitch mentioned it before, like we feel as though that Pilates owners are going through what F45 and CrossFit went through.
Yep.
When being on trend is no longer enough.
No.
You need to have systems, processes in place. And maybe what you did in 2019 to get to 200 members is very different to what you do today. And that is the whole reason why we created this podcast. And I'm excited for the next episodes coming up. So the purpose of the podcast is we're going to have a roadmap from pre-sales all the way to selling a business when we get a business broker online.
Yep.
So if you are a Pilates studio owner, if you already have a studio and want to learn from Alana, this podcast is for you.
Great. Looking forward.
Any final words?
No.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I actually learned quite a bit today about your story, which is cool. But looking forward to jumping in and talking about all things business.
Cool. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning into the Business of Pilates podcast. If you enjoyed the episode and want to learn how to grow and scale the studio, there'll be a link below to book in a call. If you're interested in opening up a Muse franchise or learning more about Spicy and the Pilates instructor course, there'll also be a link for that. Thank you so much. Please share with another studio owner and pass along this podcast.